Bodybuilding has gotten out of control with the sheer notion that bigger is better when it comes to the most impressive physiques of bodybuilders. Back in the day, it wasn't about size, it was about aesthetics and proportionality. There wasn't nearly as a reliance on mass to win bodybuilding titles and the drugs to do so. An impressive physique certainly has muscular size to it, but should contain perfect symmetry and tremendous detail to make it appear as if they were sculpted out of a marble slab in ancient Greece, not like they are just inflated muscles with hot air in the back of a laboratory. Let's take a look at the top 10 god-level physiques that shocked the entire bodybuilding world. Number 10. Frank Zane. During the golden era of bodybuilding in the 1970s, Frank Zane rose to fame alongside guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu. Frank Zane is an American bodybuilder who initially started out as a mathematics and chemistry teacher. The reason that Zane is part of today's list is because in the field of bodybuilding, he essentially started the Zanelike term and aesthetics movement in bodybuilding. During his peak era, he put emphasis on beauty, proportions, and balance. Unlike today's bodybuilders who tend to give more attention to imposing, massive physiques, Zane was greatly known for his balance, shape, and perfection. With that, he had a balanced body physique that seemed to be carved similar to a Greek god, rather than just being the largest guy in the room. With that, he had wide shoulders, a small waist, and a large back that gave him a unique yet astonishing physique. Hence, the Zanelike physique or term came to life, which basically means that your leanness is defined by a 190 frame inspired by Zane's physique. Because of his body physique, despite weighing 60 pounds less, Frank Zane was able to beat Arnold Schwarzenegger to the 1968 IFBB Mr. Universe title. Number 9. Phil Heath. Phil Heath made his pro debut in 2006, after discovering bodybuilding in 2002. Phil Heath is an American bodybuilder who secured 7 straight Mr. Olympia titles from 2011 to 2017. His massive physique has surely paved the way for him to win these straight wins for consecutive 7 years. However, Sean Roden dethroned him from the Mr. Olympia title. He possesses large quads, a massive and defined back, and arms larger than most people's legs. In addition to that, Heath has a near-perfect structure, featuring a tiny waist, huge deltoids, and chiseled abs. Combine those facts with his great conditioning, and it is no surprise as to why he is definitely one of the best. Because of his physique, he has gained the nickname The Gift. Even if some people may disagree that he appears too narrow, many would still definitely agree that Heath's physique is one of the best in the world of bodybuilding. Number 8. Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman surely belongs to today's list because he has set a new standard of bodybuilding with a contest weight of around 300 pounds, which many of today's bodybuilders try to achieve. Ronnie Coleman shocked the bodybuilding world after winning his first Mr. Olympia title in 1998 when 6-time Mr. Olympia Dorian Yates retired. During this time, Coleman's size and conditioning was at its peak, to the point that it was unmatched. Because of that, he was able to steal the Olympia from Sean Ray, Nasser El Sonbati, and Kevin Levrone. Ronnie Coleman surely had everything in the starting stages of his career, including mass and detail. However, most bodybuilding would agree that none was more impressive than his back. Even today's best bodybuilders, such as Phil Heath, cannot match the size of the muscle bellies and the symmetry that Coleman displayed in his back during his early days. Number 7. Lee Haney. Despite his competitive record and his groundbreaking combination of muscularity and mass, Haney rarely gets the recognition he deserves. Lee Haney was the first to bring both size and conditioning to the table of bodybuilding. He had groundbreaking muscularity and astonishing shape. With his amazing body physique, Haney is the only bodybuilder to ever win Mr. Olympia and never lose his title. During his prime years, Haney was bigger than all of his competitors, almost tipping the scales at 250 pounds. Even though he was considered to be bigger than all of his competitors, he still walked on stage with an 8-pack and razor-sharp cuts every time. After winning 8 straight Mr. Olympia titles, he retired. Number 6. Dexter Jackson. Dexter Jackson has competed in 19 Mr. Olympia contests. After finishing in the top 4 for years on end, Dexter Jackson finally got his taste at history, winning the Olympia in 2008. Moreover, he is well known in the field of bodybuilding because of his deep set of abs. Because of his razor-sharp cuts and on-point conditioning, he gained the nickname The Blade. Dexter Jackson has won the Arnold Classic 5 times, which is a record breaker because he is the only bodybuilder to do this. He also holds a record-breaking 28 IFBB professional bodybuilding titles. Number 5. Kevin Levrone. Kevin Levrone is considered by many as one, if not the most, underrated bodybuilders of all time. Kevin Levrone amazingly continued to impress fans with his unbelievable sculpted arms and delts, along with an absolutely chiseled midsection. With this, he gained the nickname as the Maryland Muscle Machine. Although he is definitely one of the best bodybuilders of all time, he was not able to gain the coveted Mr. Olympia title. He had always placed second 4 times at the Mr. Olympia contests. However, Levrone won over 23 pro show titles. Many fans and athletes still agreed that he was one of the true winners of the competition because at such an age, he still showed the best physiques. Number 4. Dorian Yates. Dorian Yates appeared in the scene of bodybuilding after Haney retired. The 6-time Mr. Olympia is arguably one of the best bodybuilders of all time for many fans. Dorian Yates is an English bodybuilder who has won the Mr. Olympia title 6 consecutive times, from 1992 to 1997. Dorian Yates stands at 5 foot 10 inches with a 262 pounds competition weight. This definitely made him a force to be reckoned with in the world of bodybuilding. More than this, his achievements and amazing body conditioning and body physique, Yates' work ethics had impacted and amazed many fans. He stated that he dedicates himself to working out every day for the whole year. His exercise routines involve intensive and brutal workout plans. With a machine-like focus to training and hard dedication to his craft, it paved the way for him to compete and win in such a time that there were also amazing bodybuilders such as Ronnie Coleman and Paul Dillett. Number 3. Shawn Ray. Gaining the nickname Mr. Symmetry, Shawn Ray definitely embodies proportion and balance. Even not being able to win a single Mr. Olympia title, he still is considered one of the most inspirational physiques of bodybuilding. Other than his body symmetry that amazed a number of judges and fans, he also showed a ton of muscle mass that led him to consistently win 5th place in the times that he joined the Mr. Olympia competition. He was a rare breed in bodybuilding, especially that today most people only focus on mass gaining and not on body symmetry. Number 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Today most people know Arnold as an actor and a politician. However, he is definitely very famous in the world of bodybuilding. It must be noted that in the early 1990s, most bodybuilders showed better condition and mass than Schwarzenegger displayed when competing. In today's standards, Schwarzenegger would not be able to compete. However, during his prime years, he possessed a well-developed and symmetrical physique that was also definitely massive. He is also taller than most bodybuilders given his large 6 foot 2 inch frame. This made him even more imposing and striking compared to his competitors. With that, Schwarzenegger was the youngest Mr. Universe at just 20 years old. He won a number of different titles over the years, including a further 4 Mr. Universe titles and 7 Mr. Olympia titles. More importantly, Arnold defined the golden era of bodybuilding and really helped the sport grow in popularity, and so he is definitely still one of the greatest of all times. Number 1. Flex Wheeler. Kenneth Flex Wheeler is best known as the Sultan of Symmetry. Throughout his career, he amazingly racked up an impressive 17 professional titles. He never won the Sandow, placing just behind the Olympia champs a total of 3 times. However, for many fans and athletes in bodybuilding, Flex is definitely the best bodybuilder of all time. He was once described by Arnold Schwarzenegger as one of the greatest bodybuilders he had ever seen. With this, he also won the Arnold Classic 4 times. Furthermore, Ronnie Coleman even acknowledged that Flex Wheeler was the best bodybuilder he competed against. In 1997, he achieved the most sought-after Triple Crown by winning the Ironman, the Arnold Classic, and the San Jose Classic. Flex Wheeler was everything bodybuilding represented, which is size and detail with very few weaknesses. Flex's flawless competing physique was also composed of size, muscular definition, proportion, and symmetry. In addition to that, he had the best midsection in the game and a chiseled body to go along with it. With these, in a lineup of all the pro bodybuilders across the eras, he definitely has the best physique in the bodybuilding world. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you another time.